Yo, what up, y'all? Hey, I pray all is well. Story time, man. So my dad, right? And I'm thinking about how he used to teach me how to drive and stuff, and he'll pop up in my head all the time. So I remember this one specific time we was driving, and he was like, "All right, Lou, you gonna drive home today?" I was like, "All right, cool, bet. I'm always ready for it." It was over the summertime, so in New Orleans it's hot. So I'm driving, and my dad is like, he's watching me as I drive, and he got this look like, like, so this dude, man. And, and y'all know my dad, man. Sometimes he can get on you. And I'm like, all right, and I'm driving, with one hand on the wheel. I'm not doing the 2x10. I'm not listening to him. I'm not doing it the way he wants to be done, because he know his way is safe. He'll be like, hey, you need to be 2 car distances away from the next person. When they brake, you brake, and get out that left lane unless you're gonna pass them. Like, he was very strict when he was teaching me. So I'm like, all right, man, all right. So this one specific day, we driving in the neighborhood, and I got my one hand on the wheel, and I'm cruising. I got the seat back, thinking I'm all that. And he looked at me. He said, Luther, 2 hands on the wheel, man. I was like, all right. So I go back to 1 hand on the wheel. He said, put your seat up, man. What you think you is? You tough or something? And I was like, nah, Dad, like, that's how I drive. I'm tall. So he was like, Luther, put 2 hands on the wheel, man. So I'm like, pride kicks in. And I'm like, Dad, I already know how to do it. I already know how to get home. I got it, bro. Like, I got it, man. Like, I can do this. I'm good. I got it. He said, Luther, 2 hands, you know what? Pull over. So I'm like, all right, fine. So I pull over. My dad like, hey, if you don't do it my way, you can walk home. So I'm like, man, I'll walk home, feeling myself. And then my dad say, all right, get out. So I'm like, he ain't gonna catch my bluff. So I get out, I put the car in park, I put the van in park, all jerking it all hard. And I walk out the car. I get out the car, and he hops in the driver's seat and pulls off. Yo, he pulled off, and I'm like, yo, he not coming back. I said, this man about to make me walk 2 miles home. Dog, I was so mad, bro. So I'm walking. And so I guess my mom was asking my dad, like, well, where was I at? And I said, Dad, and so I walk. He and his lazy boy reclined up with his water, chilling, watching TV like nothing ever happened. And I'm walking past, like, I'm looking at him, and I'm like, and I kept on walking. He didn't say nothing to me the rest of the day, like, like, it was nothing like, yo, I could show you better than I could tell you, bruh. So I tell y'all that story because one thing is pride. I posted a video recently about, how to stay connected to the true vine. We can be so connected, but one of the things that pulls us away from God is pride. We think we got it. Like, we think we know better. After a certain time, it's like, I'm going to do things my way. When the truth is, we got to remain doing things his way. If we don't do things his way, meaning outside, staying in his will, it's going to be a problem for us. I'll give you an example. You're driving down the road, driving down the highway, we have lanes. Why do we have lanes? So we won't go over. So let's say you on the side, right all the way in the right lane, and you driving, and then you get out that lane, you start to hit that little bubble pop, it tells you, hey, get over. So warning, like, hey, get over. Because some people may doze off or something like that. Then afterwards, let's say if you go over too much, you may hit a car that's already on the shoulder, or you may just roll off to the side. Those lines are there for a reason. It's the barrier. Because whoever designed it knows better. Oh, come on, somebody. Because they know better. So God has the same thing for us. Give you even more of an example. Fornicating, having sex outside of marriage. Ooh, that's going to be deep for somebody. That's about to cut. We supposed to do it inside of marriage. Why? Because if I'm just dating somebody, technically I'm single. So if we messing around, I decide to get the girl pregnant, I could literally still leave. I could still leave. Guess what? That baby ain't gonna see me every single day. Then guess what? It's just a trickling down effect. The baby may have daddy, mommy issues. My dad was never around. And then the next thing you know, let's say the baby mama wound up getting somebody else, getting married. Now I gotta figure out who this dude is and what his background is. And it's a whole mess. God knows better, so that's why he says to do certain things, but we stay in it for a little bit, we figure out how to maneuver it, and then we step outside the will, and then guess what? We hurting and calling on God, Jesus, please. But what's crazy is, when I got home, I walked home, And I thought about it. I could take this story so many different ways, but I got home and I'm thinking that my dad about to lean on me. I'm thinking that my dad about to go off on me even after he made me walk 2 miles. He ain't say nothing. He was just like, all right, that's what you want to do. Go ahead and do it. God allows us to do things so we can learn, you know. He's God. He ain't got to sit here and fight us. You know, he ain't got to sit here and prove us whatever. He just going to be like, okay, if that's what you want to do, go ahead, see what happens. You know, God can do that. You know, a lot of people don't like that. Oh, what kind of God allows that, this, that, and third to happen? Yo, obviously, sometimes we just got to see it for ourselves. And I've seen for myself that I need to do it my dad's way. The car is his. It's in his name. He's teaching me how to drive. I need to do it his way. So I need to submit to his authority. And that's what we need to do. So don't forget that, man. And another thing is, my dad didn't say too much to me after that. If anything, he was like, hey, your food is on the dinner table. Make sure you go in and eat. No condemnation. Come on. No condemnation. He already know how I felt. He already know what it was. And I'll tell you this, I believe it hurted him more than it hurt me. Why? Because he my dad and he cares about me. He don't want to leave me out there in the street like that. All I have to say is, he's a loving father. Our God above is a loving father. I love y'all, man. I pray that inspires y'all. Y'all have a phenomenal day, man. And shalom.